Hello everybody, it's Wyvern here with a continuation of our Sanctus Reach, Legacy of the Weirdboy campaign. Now we do have last 3 skirmish missions and then a final story mission left to go before completing the campaign. And so I'll be trying to get through those as best I can. Obviously, we should shortly be getting Sons of Cadia released, which will be the Imperial Guard patch along with its own campaign and all that sort of stuff. And judging by the gameplay that Archwarhammer released, I'll link a video down below if you haven't seen it already. It does seem pretty interesting. There definitely seems to be some pretty significant changes, especially in HP pools of units. It definitely seems like, for example, the Orc knobs have gotten a much bigger HP than they had before. Imperial Guard seems to be a very glass cannon-y faction, but definitely it does seem to have pretty respectable damage output, which is very nice. I do believe it's supposed to be released on November 9th. So we are doing offense here. So we could do, let's see, what options do we have for units? Flashkits. Always the best. So we're going to do Flashkits, of course, and Warbikers, because those are great. We're going to bring a Painboy just for that healing, which leaves us with very little sort of HP outside of that. Now we could do Kill a Can with a Rocket, which I think we will do. That definitely seems like a respectable choice, which leaves us with a whole bunch of arguably less useful units to pick from. So we're going to pick a handful of. You could take Rust Gob. Actually, I'm going to take this just for the Cannon Fodder Gretchen, which are always very useful. And it also seems that some of the costs have changed as well. In this, we'll take these shooters with crack bombs. We'll take these shooters over here. It also seems that some costs have changed. I do believe Orc Boys. It seemed just from looking at some of the. It seems that Orc Boys actually got dropped down to only. Or we could actually take a War Buggy. I think we'll take a War Buggy. It seems that Orc Boys dropped down to 40 cost, judging by the... Because XP is based, I do believe, that you gain is based on how much a unit costs. I do believe that Orcs were only generating 40 XP, so that would mean that they've dropped in cost to 40. I do believe this is pretty decent, though a bit light, but we'll see. This is, I think, a decent build. So, we're obviously being forced to attack. Sluganob is definitely, they get quite a bit more HP. It also looks like we will be getting Morkanauts, which I don't believe are in this game, though perhaps I simply haven't seen them yet. But I don't believe those are in the. I don't recall seeing Morkanauts in any of the campaigns here. I don't do very much multiplayer, or actually any multiplayer really, so perhaps it's something I've simply overlooked in there. But definitely seems to be a pretty cool unit addition. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push out as far as I can with this guy, and then I'm going to summon a bunch of Gretchen, and actually I got a very nice cast here. My goal, of course, with these guys is simply to use them as a scouting tool and a cannon fodder unit to absorb attacks that would go towards my my better units, like my shooters, my buggies, my flash kits, of course. I don't want taking damage if I can avoid it. And my Sluganobs, who are kind of there to tank. I'd rather them not actually take the damage if I can avoid it, if I can use Gretchen for that job. You can definitely push forward a tiny bit. Don't want to push forward too far. And we're just going to turn here and see what the Spoice Marines are doing. Yeah, those are somewhat predictable results. A unit and a half Gretchen destroyed, but that's whatever. They're free. And obviously, I'm not fielding Gretchen for their combat performance, so it's okay. I'm completely alright with losing all those units. Now, there are some Grey Hunters back there, and obviously, it is entirely possible that the Space Marines could bring some fancy troops onto the field. This guy does have one of those effects, those cool effects, always scoring crits, which is very nice. So we should definitely be able to bring this land speeder down to size, though apparently not that well. Expected a little bit more damage from him. Hopefully these shooters will be able to. Maybe not. This guy's definitely proven a lot tankier than I anticipated. Yeah, he's screaming terminal damage, but he's not dead. And he's out of pistol range. So I might end up just send the shooters forward and hopefully pick at him a little more. He's still not dying. Still not dead. 2-4 there. I might have to end up having to use the flash kits. It's okay. The flash kits good. Actually, they're maxed out, max level. That's a little unfortunate. Because obviously you don't want to use a max level unit if you can avoid it, simply because you're trying to level up your other units. Now I'm not throwing a fungus bomb, and I can actually hit these flamers, so I'm going to do so for whatever little damage I can. In the meantime, I'm going to keep pushing this guy forward. I'm going to keep pushing the Gretchen forward. I'm going to force the reaction fire from the Meltas. Obviously, Meltas aren't very good against Gretchen, because Meltas only hit one target. They're actually not terrible against infantry. They're kind of like a very short-range sniper rifle. If you're able to screen them with some other unit, they're honestly not bad against even, say, knobs or flash kits or units like that. They're honestly not that terrible against low model count units. It's obviously not their specialty or anything like that, but they can definitely do a passable job of it, just because they snipe models so effectively. And for actual sniping, of course, you do have good old Meltas. Or sorry, not good old Meltas, las guns, or las cannons. I do wonder if Imperial Guard, it was a little hard to tell from the Archwarhammer video, and of course it's I wasn't really able to tell if ranges have changed for other units as well, but it didn't look like Imperial Guard actually had that good of range on a lot of their shooting. It seemed like they were a very mid-range oriented faction, which actually surprised me a little bit. I was expecting the las guns to be very long range and kind of standoffish. That's one unit down. And that's 2 units down. And that actually means this guy's almost leveled up, which is perfect. Now, we can send these bikes around, we can send these flash kits around. Knobs. I don't really want to... I want to group my troops together if at all possible. I'd really rather not fight in kind of a disjointed group. The AI does have some... The AI is being very campy. I'm going to send these Gretchen forward. It actually seems that we've basically baited out everything they had camping out in the front, which is good. We're not actually able to hit those guys, which is a little unfortunate, but I don't really want to get too overzealous, because that's a very quick way to get wiped out. I'm going to detach some Gretchen here and send them along to provide support, to provide basically reconnaissance support. And I don't want to commit the bikers just yet, because the bikers, while they can dish out a lot of hurt, they're very, very squishy. They're very susceptible to just about every form of damage. They're a very strong unit, so definitely, if you're doing your playthrough, as far as I'm able to tell, these guys are probably one of, if not the best unit on the Orc roster. So I would definitely recommend it. And I'm just going to pop this and get an extra bit of movement, because it'll be off cooldown a little bit. But I would definitely say bikes are probably one of, if not the best Orc unit on the roster. But they are very, very, very susceptible to fire. It was definitely interesting to see in Archwarhammer's video. Of course, the AI did a very very fast Orc build. I think it was the AI anyway. But it did a very fast Orc build, and we can get either plus 30 accuracy or plus 2 max range and plus 15 weapon damage, which I think is what I think I'm going to do. I'm going to dash back. I don't really want to commit, but it definitely seemed like they were getting absolutely shredded, even by Imperial Guards with the las guns. So much less anything else. Unfortunately, one of the units I was definitely looking forward to kind of seeing that video was the Tempestus Scions, and they didn't really get much of anything done. They didn't get to see much action, which was a little unfortunate. But Imperial Guard is very low HP. Some of their units, for example, compared, you remember the Shooter Boys are sitting at 320. The Imperial Guard were sitting at 200 for a, I think, 5-man unit. So they are very, very susceptible to fire. They basically lose if they take any sort of attack from the enemy. They're basically going to lose models, guaranteed. So it's a very, very brutal sort of predicament. Now this Clanker is definitely not very good. I don't know. He's very slow, and that's one of those things that it really makes Dreadnoughts not that good as well for Space Marines, even though they're a great unit otherwise. For picking apart enemy armor, they're just so slow, and it's definitely a little unfortunate. Now, victory points captured. I'm going to dart forward with some Gretchen, see if I can get some spots or spotting done. I don't care if I lose these. I'm going to try to regroup a little bit here. I'm going to take a turn to sort of reassemble my troops. There's walls here, which means the AI is not really going to be able to get at my my acquisitions here. Not effectively at any rate. I believe I'm still playing on the highest difficulty. I don't think I changed. I don't think I should have changed difficulties here. I'd be a little disappointed with myself if I accidentally did that, but I'm pretty sure I didn't. Because there's not usually there's more AI reaction. Perhaps they just haven't been getting spawns or spawning that close. They might have been be spamming out those off-board spawns where they pull troops from somewhere in the back. Regardless, we're gonna end turn here. Oh, there we go. They're shooting at the Gretchen. It's okay. I can live with that. So there we go. There's some Space Marines. I'm sorry, that Space Marine thing. I do believe it was. I'm trying to think of which game it was. I think it was actually the game Space Marines. The orcs had like really ridiculous Australianish accents in that. And it was kind of hilarious. This is some unfortunate shooting, honestly. We're not even able to get shots through. Oh well. We're gonna throw Gretchen forward and try to shoot down these Grey Hunters. I'm trying to stay out of their reaction fire, but staying out of reaction fire as orcs means you're not. If you stay out of enemy reaction fire as orcs, it generally means that you yourself are oh, that was a mistake. Oh well, I didn't realize it. But generally, if you're staying out of enemy reaction fire, what is this, the weird bomb? This actually, I'm going to throw this over here, so that will secure this flank for a little bit. So, let's see. Lost my train of thought there. Hopefully. But yeah, if you're staying out of a Space Marine shooting range, you're usually not able to do your own damage as orcs. I think Imperial Guard might be a little more legitimately capable in that regard, just because but they're going to be very susceptible to ranged fire from the Space Marines. Of course, can just annihilate them in probably a single volley of shooting with the Tactical Marines. Maybe if you get lucky, like 2 rounds of shooting. Oh boy. Oh boy. A lot of unfriendly units, some blood claws, some then the Gretchen just trying to shoot back at him. No, well, good job, I guess. I found this a little strange that these guys actually don't have melee attacks. Oh, okay. Thankfully, they're focused on the knobs. Not so much. Oh, we're getting some pretty crazy casts going out of Njal over here. Some annoying TAC Marines are sniping away, but the TAC Marines are basically ignorable. The land speeder needs to go pretty badly. And I do have a Pain Boy still limping along over here. Very much out of range still. which is a little unfortunate. But with the that was actually not a bad hit. Definitely a little interested to see how that would perform. We can try to use the choppas, which do very little by the look of it. Yeah, that's kind of pitiful. Try to put Nyal down over here. That may have actually been a waste of a bit of a waste. Terminal damage. The worst part here is I don't want to commit a unit that I'd rather not lose. I guess I'll commit these guys and just try to. I want to get. I was looking for a unit to level up and at the same time not put that unit at huge risk of getting sniped. No, unfortunately there are those swift claws over there. But it looks like the Wolfguard Terminator doesn't have a shield, I suppose, which is a little surprising. Most of these units do. You usually see that they have like wards saves. I can fall back, actually, and get a heal off on these guys with Doc's tools. Push these guys forward, push... push the Gretchen forward. I'm definitely running a little low on Gretchen, but I can actually get another blob of them. And the nice thing is that, of course, even Blood Claws take a while to chew through Gretchen, just because there's so many of them. And I can just throw these guys here into the fray and use them as a meat shield. You can tank some bolt pistol shots here. That's okay. Grot Blast do very little. I feel like the Gretchen might actually be really frustrating for Imperial Guard to deal with. That's a decent amount of damage. Granted, it was very all over the place. It wasn't really focused. I could, of course, try to get some shots in. Actually takes out some cover there, which is not bad, I suppose. Try to debuff their accuracy a little bit. That was an okay amount of shooting damage. Got these guys a little healed up, pushing our way forward. And our can is still waddling up, slowly but surely, and we got this other unit of Gretchen here. So, all in all, we should shortly have at least one of these cap points. Hopefully, probably the center one, and then we'll see where I'll see where I want to commit. I might go just for the right one. Oh boy. I'm not entirely sure what they were sniping away at there. Oh dear. And there you can see just how squishy and flimsy the bikers are when a single unit of Skyclaws manages to pull that sort of thing off. This guy just doesn't die. But it's okay. Gretchen will rout. These guys will go down to the knobs next turn. Fortunately, these sluggas are keeping zone of control here, preventing them from pursuing. This bike is definitely going to have to flee, though. you can see there's a drop pod, there's some melta guns. And we can use our choppas here, and hopefully put down these blood claws a little bit. You can see even with 3 guys attacking them, they're failing to leave a dent. But I'm definitely looking for, I think that once buffed, the sluggas will be much more competitive against this sort of situation. Right now, they're not even that tanky, which is definitely a little lackluster. Unfortunately, that was a big mistake because I don't need to level these guys up. Should be looking for troops that I'm trying to level up and all that sort of thing. He's gone, that's good. And they're not even able to pick off a lone marine. Now this guy should be able to just pull back, and my troops should be able to just pull forward. All these Gretchen need to run through somehow. It's a lot of Gretchen. That was a mistake. I'm just trying to get vision and information. The AI, yeah, I actually think the Imperial Guard have the same HP pool as Gretchen do right now, which is a little unfortunate. They might have slightly better armor, but it's probably not relevant improvement. That was 12 damage by Gretchen. That's actually impressive. 2 from a single Gretchen. Goes down. Hero Gretchen right there. Oh boy. Oh boy, we have Terminators on the field. And unfortunately, because of the way this whole thing is laid out, it's going to be a little difficult, I think. That's some pretty bad shooting. I don't even know what unit to shoot this guy down with. There we go. But because of the way this map is laid out with all this annoying cover and stuff like that, it's definitely going to be a bit of a tedious game, I think. Try to deploy like here, maybe work our way into position where we can snipe these Terminators from. That's still gonna be difficult. We're still waiting 3 turns before we can get more Gretchen. Not that those are particularly useful, but heal this guy. The Warburgs are just very squishy. They have very little armor. That was actually a good thing to catch a hold of, because those flanking blood claws would have been a real nuisance. Unfortunately, let's see. Fortunately, well, I can move the slugger knobs here, create a barrier. And there we go. Cool. And I need to keep track of this kill can, which is slowly but surely waddling forward. We do control the majority at this point of the cap points. Now, obviously, perfect thing here is that these knobs are going to take the hit. Though, what's less perfect is they're taking a lot of damage for it. Beating they're taking is huge. Those guys got practically annihilated. That's practically irrelevant. Whatever damage he does with his bolt pistol. The Rhino takes 2 damage from Gretchen. That's kind of sad. I don't actually have to capture any of those. Oh, this could be a problem. Getting a model sniped by a Rhino. Now these flamers will do well against the Gretchen. They could probably just roast both units. I don't know, just one. There's no reason for me to use this, have this unit of Gretchen here, so I'm actually just going to retreat it. The Predator's going to be a problem, because with the way this map is laid out, I'm going to be struggling to get into position to lay hurt onto it, because I obviously was not given units that could damage it. Or not, well, to be more precise, I guess I was not given units that could damage it reliably. Fortunately, that wasn't that great of a round. Oh, these guys are failing to even... Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to do here. Actually, I'll bait the fire from the Stormbolter. Bait his fire and the Predator fire. Oh boy! But of course the Predator misses and hits the... Okay. With these flamers, actually, this could be getting really dangerous as well. We'll try to shoot the Predator, but the Predator's going to be very... Oh, well, there's a little bit of damage, I suppose. I probably should put down the that guy. Throw a fungus stick bomb out there. I'm able to whittle down the simply trying to force the fire out of him. Now, is this an optimal firing pattern? No, but we are destroying that cover, and that's all that really matters to me. Eventually these wolf guards will be gone, and their cover will be gone. There we go. Cover's gone, which is perfect. With their cover gun, these guys are much more susceptible to being sniped down on my units. Plus, with the debuff to their accuracy, they should be much less dangerous to my units. Fortunately, I'm not able to summon more Gretchen, whatever those are worth. Lastly, don't need to. I need to be careful about having my caps stolen by, say, these guys are completely routed. I don't. Strangely enough, despite that, they're going to try to run around the Grey Hunters with flamers. Strangely enough, that guy's not able to get a firing arc on them either. Now, what I'm going to be able to do here is move up to there and hopefully hit all of these guys with a fungus bomb, which should whittle them down. You can see there's all this poison now going out, which is perfect. Whittling down the Terminators, whittling down this infantry, and of course these guys are going to die rather quickly to the poison bomb. The Terminators not so much, they have a decent amount of HP per model, but it's Gretchen, oh god. They're being a nuisance, but they're not really able to hit because they're being debuffed by a whole bunch of stuff. I'm not happy about losing knobs or anything like that. It's oh dear. I probably won't be able to capture this point with the Venerable Dreadnought there. Flamer should not be able to do very much to the Warbiker, I'd think. Besides hit him with debuffs. Strangely enough, the cover here is actually doing the Gretchen like really good work, just keeping him alive through a lot there. It might also be the debuffs. I think these guys are getting whittled down by. It actually looks like they died to the poison. Because I guess every turn counts as a tick. But I myself don't want to enter the poison, so it's kind of like turning a place into a nuclear wasteland. You yourself don't really want to go there afterwards either. You can go here and try to shut down these long fangs. And that'll push them back into the poison, which should actually get them killed if they don't get clear somehow. I can push here. Try to nail this Predator in the rear with Gretchen, whatever that's worth. But the main thing is, well, actually there's no main thing here because I'm not really able to get... do this. He's dead, that's good. And I can actually take tasty squigs, heal these guys up a bunch, and keep moving. I'm actually going to throw this weird bomb here to interrupt and screw over this Predator. Because I don't want the Predator doing much damage to my troops if I can avoid it. I'm going to fire on these Blood Claws. The poison is definitely doing a decent amount of work here, which is very, very fortunate. Wow, that was actually a decent amount of work too. Shooters at medium range are not terrible. They're not amazing, but certainly not bad. Oh, this guy's gonna have to disengage, but it looks like his morale's actually decent. And they'll be able to wipe out those Grey Hunters. I just don't want to lose them. We should be able to whittle down this drop pod. The drop pods themselves are a decent amount of XP. I just don't. Oh, these guys can. Yeah, these guys could use the XP actually. We still can't get the squigs or the Gretchen. Actually, gonna go there. I'll start destroying this wall with melee attacks, and yeah, it's gonna take a while, but Eventually we'll be able to hack through it, even with the choppas. I'm simply trying to whittle down all this, clear up the path really for my troops. But honestly, we don't even have to fight here really. The only objective is controlling VPs, and with this sort of convoluted map, it's very difficult to actually get a hold of all of the VPs, so I can certainly make an effort at it. Oh boy. Taking constant crossfire from all over the place. Biggest problem is that I'm probably going to lose this cap simply because they got that annoying motorcycle unit. I don't think so. I might be able to deny him with the shooters. We'll see. We'll give it a fair shot, and if I'm successful, that would be nice. Yeah, wow, that was more successful than I anticipated. Oh, that wasn't as good as I was expecting, hoping. These guys need to retreat. Now we got ourselves a nice, good old breach here. We can heal up these sluggers just a little bit. Keep working on this tile. We can try to gun down these blood claws. Granted, it's a very long range, but you don't know if you don't try, right? Gretchen rushing through. Swing this guy around here. Now we'll be able to summon a bunch of Gretchen here, so I'm going to try to clear out the area around him, just to maximize how much I can summon. I think it's, yeah, 3 Gretchen, so I actually got a max roll again. We can actually sit tight here. There's no real incentive to go contest that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll around here, just do some scouting with the bike. But we're almost out of turns anyway. It's down to 3 turns at this point. We've got some knobs. Handful of shooters. Most of this is honestly just Gretchen at this point, and some core units. But honestly, there's very little to do at this point. We're kind of just waiting, sitting tight, and waiting for the AI to make a move. They're constantly getting reinforcements, which is making all this a bit iffy. I don't know if or especially on this sort of shorter turn time, the AI will ever stop getting reinforcements. But I know for a fact I don't really want to be fighting Dreadnoughts head to head. More blood claws. All fairly irrelevant. They're not really able to. I'll be able to harry them pretty effectively with just the bike, and then duck back into cover before the venerable Dreadnought's able to do anything. Because Dreadnoughts are very, very slow. Definitely one of those. Dreadnoughts are very tough. They're a very strong unit in general, but boy, oh boy, are they slow. I'm simply just trying to gun down, open up this tile so that I'm able to cross into the... well, that's one of the... Definitely with a lot of these maps, they're so condensed and so clumped up. 16 versus 24. The damage from these guys in melee is so pitiful, but against the tiles. But I definitely feel like I need to bust these tiles open because there's that predator still rampaging around. If I lose the cap at the last second, that could cost me this game, and that would be a little pitiful. And when I say a little pitiful, I mean very pitiful. Oh wow, that's pretty impressive. We're going to try to hit this troop pod. Oh, actually, it does a decent amount of damage there. Cool. There's so much Gretchen on it, and it gets very tedious just trying to micro them all or telling the Gretchen what to do or where you want to take them. There we go. There's breach. You don't really want to micro the Gretchen after a while. It's just very annoying. So you just let them sit. Which is basically what I'm doing at this point. Okay, we'll do rally, just because it looks cool. At this point, I think it's basically all over. I would have to pull off an 11th hour miracle to get anything done. Right. Well, the fact that cool grenade wore off. Dreadnought with the cover here, the Warwick, he's basically should be safe. Despite the fact that Dreadnought does get 3 rounds of shooting. I definitely need to be a little careful here because I can definitely lose a bike if I don't play it safe. You see the whole map becoming red. Oh boy, bikes. Oh boy, Wolfguard Terminators. GG, get wrecked, noobs. Oh boy, that's actually pretty bad. We'll pop Tasty Squig. And we're actually going to park right here on top of the, sorry, the, GG, get wrecked, noobs. It's stupid, but this poor Terminator just got shredded. Very, very one-sided. It's actually pretty crazy how fast even elite units can go down with rear fire, or if you get caught at an unfortunate angle. On one hand, it feels very rewarding. On the other hand, if you're on the receiving end, it's very, very frustrating. I'm actually going to try to pick off these Wolfguard Termies with a rocket launcher and miss. There we go. So, we can get plus 25 heavy armor, which is actually what I'm going to do. Because the reason for that is because, honestly, the melee on these guys has, in my experience, proven near worthless. It's really, really pretty sad, in my experience. And so, there we go. That's 300 cheap XP, which is perfect. I definitely want to be a little careful here. And I'll bait the twin-linked auto cannon. Okay. And we're simply going to retreat with these guys. And heal them up with a pain boy. If these guys get caught in the open, they're basically as good as dead. But and these guys I think can sit tight, honestly. I'm going to move them to here, actually. And shoot this Venerable Dreadnought a little bit. Try to get a little bit of damage in. If it gets closer, especially then these guys will have a decent shot of damaging it. And that's... I could have actually gotten some shooting there, but I botched it. Oh well. Start pulling back. Like it. And yeah, I think we're basically we're kind of running out of options here. Now, granted, I'm probably going to lose some. Actually, it looks like I'm not going to. I might lose some models here to bolter fire from the Swift Claws, but I'm not going to lose this whole squad. That was very little damage. 5. Oh, he's actually able to just shoot. I didn't. That was a stupid mistake on my part. I didn't anticipate that the Dreadnought would actually be able to reach this wall, so I assumed I would have the cover there. And I assumed wrong. Heavy Flamer versus Gretchen. That's going as expected. Actually, that was just pretty tanky there. Not entirely sure how that worked out, but... And I think that's going to be... It's either this turn is game or next turn is game. Yeah, that's a game. We controlled 4 of them. Yeah. The only key thing was to obviously make sure they couldn't backdoor us. And obviously the infantry losses there are all Gretchen. I actually didn't successfully avoided losing even a single infantry unit, I do believe. I'm trying to think if I obviously lost some models, but nothing too tragic. Yeah, got a bunch of upgrades, so that was a very simple mission, very straightforward mission. I'm definitely looking forward to the Imperial Guard being added. Now, that was Grim Darkness difficulty, okay. Seemed much easier, but not complaining. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Imperial Guard. We get a bunch of the Lehman Russ variants look pretty awesome. I didn't get to see any gameplay. Obviously, Archwarhammer's video, I'll link it down below. He does go over some of the different. He has a bunch of different units in there. He has the Imperial Knights. He had the Lehman Russ, the Valkyries, which seem to have Hellstrike missiles as just a simple attack. It doesn't appear to be a limited ammunition sort of deal like a lot of the others, like you'd kind of expect, or like the special rockets for the walkers are for the. So that's pretty cool. It tests out most of the Imperial Guard in there. He demonstrates Okrin a little bit. Who definitely seem interesting. You get to see some Chimera gameplay. So he has a really great video, I think, just for demonstrating some of the basics there with the Imperial Guard, and I definitely found it interesting. I think it's pretty cool. Definitely hoping, definitely looking forward, and definitely looking forward to all the units we didn't get to see, and hoping Imperial Guard's fun. It's my favorite 40k faction, so definitely feeling hyped. I do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe down below. We only got 3 missions left now, so shortly the campaign should be finished. If you have any comments, criticism, any questions about Total War, not Total War, wow, I'm so used to saying that, but about Sanctus Reach, or any suggestions or anything like that, be sure to post those down in the comments below, and I'll respond as soon as I can. As usual, guys, I do appreciate you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.